15 seconds to launch.
We're going to have lunch in 15 seconds, are we?
Places, please. 5 seconds.
The basis will be rye bread, Mother's idea. The simmer flame keeps the water boiling gently while the cheese is melting, so that Sally can go on to other tasks.
We interrupt this program for a special news bulletin.
Thank God it's
Friday and I wanna get loco.
MoJo.
Cool, shake my shimmy, coco.
Friday, I'm free again. I got my motor running for a wild weekend.
Friday night and the lights are low.
MoJo.
Monday, I have Friday on my mind.
MoJo.
When Black Friday comes,
That's how I roll.
Thursday, I don't care about you. It's Friday, I'm in love.
MoJo. Adjust your mojo now.
Jump out that sofa. Let's kick it. Friday, Saturday. Friday comes, I'm gonna stake my claim.
MoJo.
I guess I changed my name.
Radio with an attitude. This is your Daily Mojo. Freedom Friday edition.
I thought it would never get here. I don't know about you. In some ways, it felt like this was the longest week in the history of history, and in other ways, it's like, holy crap, it's already Friday.
Yep.
Like, time has taken on a new personality in the last, I don't know, year and a half. It feels like it's flowing differently. Maybe it's just me.
Could be.
It is, after all, clean out your medicine cabinet day, and it may be that I just decided when I was going to clean out my medicine cabinet and take everything that, well, it does change your attitude. It changes your approach to things, and maybe, just maybe, that's what happened to all of the cows in Colorado. Shame on me for not bringing this up earlier. I can't believe that I did not, because I learned about this. Was it last week, the week before? From Keith Malinak at the mic. I believe it was when we were discussing Roswell with Don Schmidt. And he said, well, what do you think happened? What cows? The cows in Colorado that disappeared. And
Didn't we talk about them before, though?
No.
Oh.
No, these are different. This just happened. This happened a couple of weeks, at the very latest, it happened last month. And it was about 200 cows, all in all.
Well, that's not a few. Wow.
Where, and it's in Colorado, and the town is Olathe or Olathe. I'm going to guess it's Olathe.
Olathe, yeah.
And they weren't, to be fair, they weren't all like, there were 200 in a pen and they all just disappeared. It was, the first report came just before Thanksgiving, 29 cows and calves. A week later, 3 more reports from 3 other owners, 46, 38, and 31 head of cattle. Poof, gone. Not mutilated, not found, out in the field rotting, just gone.
Oh, those jokers got picked up and taken to Mexico.
Well, I would say, okay, except they're much like the cattle mutilations, they're not finding any tracks. They're not finding, it is not an easy task to pick up a cow, much less 31 of them.
True.
Much less 29, much less 46. 46, how many cows fit comfortably in your truck?
Yeah.
How many can you get in your truck?
I don't have a truck that will hold cows. Right?
How many, if you had to stuff them into your truck, how many do you think
I would say probably 20 or 30. I don't know how many fit in a truck.
Would you stack them on their tails?
Maybe. Don't they
truck?
have, let's see, how many How many cows?
in a standard cow trailer? Oh, a standard, I guess, standard cow trailer. A 20-foot trailer can accommodate 8 to 10 cows. A 24-foot trailer holds 12 to 15 cows. So if you've got, let's say, 46 cows that go poof and disappeared, that's 3 24-foot.
Oh.
I did the math right there.
No, a 53-foot trailer, which is a standard semi-trailer, can hold 20 to 30 cows.
All right. So you can't even get all of these in a single big old cow trailer that you see going down the road that you know you're behind because you can smell it. Much like a chicken truck. So it's not, I would say, or I would suggest that this is not some amateur operation where the folks are just, going out there and deciding that, hey, we're going to go raid these ranchers and their cattle farms. This is a sophisticated group, and I'm just gonna let's keep it down here on planet Earth for now.
Okay.
That this is a group of human individuals who are taking these cows. One particular rancher, Kelly Birch, said she counted her herd come up 43 animals short. And here's the weird part. She says, I have this cow, but not this calf. Or I have this calf, but not this cow. So, because usually calves stick around with the moms, right? They keep it in the family. How do they know who their mom is? I mean, all the cows look the same. How the hell does a cow know which one's their mama?
I mean, they're not exactly the same. It's how a toddler
pretty
knows
damn close.
Which parent is theirs.
Pretty damn close.
If you take a toddler to Six Flags and let them run around, or Disney, they're going to pick their parent out of hundreds.
Are they? Well, we're also talking about people in that case. But
okay.
Her family has run cattle on the same public land for 106 years. She said, I think that's key, public land. Something's not adding up here. All 187 missing bovines had spent the warmer months grazing the acreage in the Hang on a minute. All right, let's see if we can do this here. Where's the easy thing? Where's the easy thing that tells you how to... Is this it? All right, here we go. This is the plateau, the...
Uncompahgre.
Uncompahgre
Plateau.
Uncompahgre.
The hell kind of a stupid name is that? Good grief.
Them Colorados.
This is a pretty rugged country, too. I mean, this is not like you drive out there for a weekend getaway. And some of these animals, of course, there are lions and tigers and bears.
Oh, my.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
You're right on just like we practiced. They could be eating the cows. They could get sick. Weather up there is bad. As a quick side note, did you realize that, cloning animals has been in the news lately because of the, not a dire wolf.
Yeah.
It's a gray wolf dressed up to look like a dire wolf. But did you know that when they have discovered some of these fossils of old animals, and by old I mean like woolly mammoths, that they still had like clover in their mouth?
Like it was an instant
significance of that
death.
Like it, right. Like that they were flash frozen in an instant. That's weird. But anyway, I don't believe any of these cows were instantly, frozen into TV dinners. But the bottom line is these ranchers have never seen this many cows go missing so quickly and without any sign of anything behind. Also unusual, the vast majority of what disappeared were calves. They think some of the ranchers, because of course the first thing you think of is people stealing them and taking, like Ron said, to Mexico. I get my cows from Mexico. Well, I mean, why would they take them to Mexico?
Food?
What's in
Food?
They got cows in Mexico, A, and B, you got to go across the border, and I doubt it's easy to sneak 200 cows into Mexico. Although they could sneak 10,000 people a day into the Americas.
Yep.
But I digress. The disappearances that started happening this past fall set off an investigation from the governor's office on down. It included sheriffs. It includes a multi-agency task force, search planes, a $10,000 reward, and a bull rider turned cowboy who has scouted the area on horseback. Wonder who the bull rider is. Probably not Tuff Hedeman. It's called Western Slope, as apparently a pretty conservative area. Cattle bulk up in wild forest canyonlands before they are sold to feed Americans' appetites for burgers and steaks. Had Brad burgers last night, and if they were some of these Colorado cows, let me just tell you, these Colorado cows taste yum when grilled my way. So they spent the entire winter looking around, trying to find these cows. They've come up with nothing. Nothing whatsoever, which is weird. Not even a set of tire tracks. Where did these cows go?
Brad,
I
think aliens took them.
I'm just trying to avoid the whole alien thing, but
I know, but somebody had to bring it up. They were teleported out.
Why is it always, in the words of Dan Andros, why does it always have to be aliens?
Well, because that's the simplest answer, right? Isn't that the
Mexican? Well, you tried to blame it on Mexicans at first.
I did. I mean, why do
you hate Mexicans so much?
I don't hate Mexicans. I do like beef, though.
How many trim your lawn?
None.
That might be a euphemism, is all I'm saying. If you took these cows to market, these 187 missing cows, do you know how much they'd be worth?
No.
$400,000 on the low end.
Really?
Yep. No semi-trailer could reach the land where these cattle disappeared from.
Okay. Well, that's different. Okay.
Yeah. Mother cows separated from their calves would show distress. A mass die-off, perhaps a poison weed, would produce bodies, so they didn't just die. They weren't just eaten. According to Janie Van Winkle, a former Colorado Cattlemen's Association president, says it's a mystery, a big one.
I mean, we haven't really talked about the obvious in Colorado, though, have we?
And what do you think that might be?
Bigfoot.
Why Bigfoot there?
I don't know. I just think maybe they got hungry.
All right, let's take your lead. Bigfoot. What did Bigfoot do with the bones?
Bigfoot
them. Doesn't eat everything. Right?
They built their house out of it. And you know.
See, you're just reaching now.
I am.
You're just being crazy.
I am.
You just wanted to bring Bigfoot into the picture.
Look,
Bigfoot,
anytime I get the opportunity to bring Bigfoot into the show.
His real name is Daryl. He doesn't like it when you call him Bigfoot.
Yep.
But, I mean, why would you lay this at Bigfoot's feet?
I see what you did there.
You're welcome. The brand, where are the brands on them? You don't have to brand cattle. We did discover that when Keith and I were discussing this. You don't have to brand your cattle, but livestock owners who do brand their cattle. I remember thinking this was kind of a weird one. If you do brand your cattle, you have to register that brand with the state's agriculture department. Because the government wants to know. Any sale or movement of cattle over 75 miles or to another state requires a review by one of the 63 inspectors to verify ownership. In the lower 48, all states from the Rockies west are brand states, but most to the east are not, meaning they don't require proof of ownership to sell the livestock. Once you get past the borders, pretty much it's open season. They also, the inspectors in Colorado investigate possible thefts, began to spike in 2022. Last year, total, 475 cattle were reported missing or stolen in 57 cases, but prosecutions rarely actually happen because they're spending the time, looking at crimes against people.
Yeah.
Hashtag Cow Lives Matter. Hello. He said this time it's a new game because the governor is involved. We are committed to holding the cattle rustlers accountable. And but again, we have no idea. And these stories are weird because they pop up like this and then they just disappear. It's like the cattle mutilations. Remember, it was a couple of years ago that the down here in Texas, when they were like 14.
It was quite a few, and it was one right after the other. I mean, we had one discussion of it here, and then we had another happening, and we're like, okay, let's find out what's going on, and nothing.
It goes away, right? It goes away. It pops up every now and then.
It's probably because
away.
they really figured out what happened, and they're like, nope, we're not talking about this.
Well, except that these have been happening since the 1970s, and if they'd figured out what happened, they would have said something by now. So that when the next time it happens, they go, well, we know what it is. It's blank.
Right.
But they have no idea. And again, the news cycle is so fast that it goes away, much like
I'm thinking it's the U.S. government testing their new laser weapons. That's what I think it is.
You said that just because you have a laser.
That's not that kind of laser.
But you could use that on a cow, couldn't you?
You could.
If you could fit a cow on your table, you could laser etch their butt. Right?
Otherwise known as branding, yes.
Well, is it branding if you use a laser? Or
yeah, no, I mean, I guess. There are people out there who laser engrave the top of pies. They laser engrave steaks. Yeah, I mean, it can be done.
Well, and you are famous for actually laser etching a grain of rice.
I am.
And
I sent it to you.
Did you, what you did? Where?
I don't know. Did you not get it?
No.
I sent it to
you. You took a picture of it, though, I'm sure. So go ahead and show us the picture.
I don't have the picture either.
What Ron's trying to say is he still has not laser engraved a grain of rice, even though that would be a claim to fame like no other because it's a tough job.
It is a tough job.
It's too tough for Ron. Some jobs are too tough for Ron. And apparently the grain of rice is a line in the sand. California Cowgirl says the rancher knows when the calf is born. Often the rancher will ear tag the calf. All right. Okay. But they didn't, for whatever reason. Dr. Zoe knows over in the Daily Mojo chat room. I am committed to paying attention to y'all today. Ron doesn't. Ron could be giving you a shout out over there, but he doesn't. I don't know. He hates rice and he hates the people in the Daily Mojo chat room, and I don't know why. I've tried, but I don't even know who this man is anymore. Dr. Zono says, I thought today was Saturday for a minute. It is kind of weird when you wake up and you think it's one day, and then you get up and you walk around for a minute and you stumble into something and you realize it's just Friday. Over on the X, DeGare Bear says the calves disappeared the same way 2 freaking tons of nitrate disappeared off that train. And Real Ron Phillips, don't you go blaming Bigfoot. Thank you, otherwise known as Daryl. Why you had to bring up Bigfoot, don't know. Wade Robertson, necesitaban muchas fajitas rápido, which means I need to eat my nachos in the bathroom. A little Spanish lingo for you. I don't know why he has to eat his nachos in the bathroom, but whatevs. And Wisconsin Jackhole just need AI to learn cow language so they can tell us what happened. Why hasn't someone... See, the problem... AI is it's garbage in, garbage out. It's the age-old problem with computers. A computer's only as smart as you teach it. Garbage in, garbage out. And it likely is not going to have any other, I mean, I guess it could, but it likely is not going to have any other explanation than we as human beings could have if we can't feed it all the facts. Wisconsin Jackhole, thank you. Somebody, $5 made us holler in the Rumble chat room. Someone said nipples. Who said nipples? Mm-hmm. Gifted Guru, of course, cow lives matter. My boss gets upset when someone calls her a cow. It's going to be one of those days, isn't it? And Florida man in Alabama, the big feet only feed every 5 years. The last time they emerged to feed was during COVID, so people did not notice.
There you go.
That
makes sense.
I found a video of the days of COVID, which I will play for you here in just a minute. What is that?
By the way, I asked Grok what happened to those 187 cows.
And Grok said?
Well, Grok said it could have been one of these items. Cattle rustling or theft of the cattle.
Right, which we thought of.
Natural causes or dispersal.
Meaning?
Somewhere in the 75,000 to 1.5 million acres of land. They just dispersed.
They got lost.
Speculative theories like UFOs or conspiracies. And feral cattle or stragglers. It says, my assessment, the most plausible explanation is organized cattle rustling, likely by someone with deep knowledge of the Uncompahgre Plateau and the ranching industry.
Which is pretty much what we just said. So you can thank us for Grok's.
Yep, there you go.
Intuitive knowledge there. Grok has no freaking idea what the hell happened to him either. That's the problem. No one has any clue.
Yeah.
We have a lot. Who decided to make this program only 2 hours? That was you, wasn't it, Ron? You were the one who decided to make this program only 2 hours. So we have to stuff all kinds of stuff into it's like stuffing 10 pounds of crap into a 5-pound sack, but we managed somehow to do it every day here on the Daily Mojo. We've got Phil Bell coming up in just a bit. He is going to be talking about EVs, and I want to thank Beaver for sending us the information on what they're doing to the EV people up in PA.
Oh,
telling you, it's truly amazing what the government will do, and not even be embarrassed about doing it. Hey to everybody over in the Kick chat room.
Hey.
Jay Reed Jr., don't be cowsist. Not all cows look alike. Well, they kind of do. How much time have you spent around cows, Ron?
Not a lot. But they don't look alike, if you ask me.
They do look alike. They all look alike. The damn thing. Hold on. Where did I go? They look alike. I was so, and maybe this would help. Maybe if they rubbed a little CBD on the cows.
That's what I'm saying.
At least it would make the pain of losing them more tolerable.
By the way, I forgot to tell you, you see that there on the screen. It says hair and scalp formula.
I have some of that.
Okay, good. I just wanted you to know that you had some of that because Don Newen didn't know he had some of that and just dripped it right in his mouth.
Does he? How much hair does he have in his mouth now?
He did. He was just going through trying them all. He's like, "Oh, that one tastes a little weird," and he looked at it and he said, "That's hair and scalp." Was I supposed to drink that?
It acts like a filter in his mouth every time he eats now.
There you go.
Stuff gets caught in the hair in his mouth.
I see what you're doing there. How's that working out?
This feels good. I feel like I shouldn't be doing this in public. Remember the wire thingy?
Yes, I have one of those. I know, dude.
Is that like better than sex? Or what? I mean, seriously. Over at getmojocbd.com, that is your portal into the world of Patriots Relief and these products. CBD, again, I wouldn't call it an uphill battle, but it's been a few years now since it really burst wide open onto the scene because of its connection to THC.
Yeah.
There's no THC in this. Just give me a minute, would you?
No, I don't know. There's some in the one you have. You know what I also have here? I have the daytime and nighttime weight loss CBD.
Okay.
Right here.
And?
I haven't tried them yet. But you take some.
How do you know if it works?
I don't know. I just got these. I just got them. I haven't even tried them yet. But they do have weight loss CBD.
There are people who will swear by CBD. And I think it's like any other product in that it will, well, I say any other, but not any other. people who are evangelists for CBD will tell you, oh, it's it'll cure everything from hair on the palm of your hand. Well, we can tell you how to stop that.
Yeah.
To hair in your mouth. But the fact of the matter is, CBD is it a miracle? It's no more of a miracle than anything else. If you start to study it, you realize it has its uses. As a pain relief product, it does wonders. It does wonders for inflammation. And I'm preaching to the choir if you already use CBD. If you haven't used CBD, and it's because, the connection.
Right.
Do some research. Don't be a space mission denier. Don't be a girl astronaut denier. This makes you look silly. That still won't go away.
Oh, no.
Isn't that weird?
Wendy's got right in the big middle of it. You saw that?
Who?
Wendy's, the restaurant.
Oh, Wendy's. Oh, I think
they were hammering down on Katy Perry, and then they were asked to apologize, and they said, nah.
It is the weirdest thing. I'm telling you, it's the weirdest.
They were like, can we send her back? Okay.
It's the weirdest situation. I've never in my life seen, and I started to wonder if it wasn't like planted.
Maybe.
I mean, it wouldn't surprise me because it wouldn't surprise me if this was some sort of a surreptitious government misinformation campaign. Might like Elon. Hey, just start the rumor that it was fake. And it just took on a life of its own. Because, listen to me. I wasn't there. I don't know if they went up in a damn rocket or not. But I would bet you this container of Maximum Relief Rub from Patriots Relief at getmojocbd.com. Because I know this works, first of all, because of my neck, and I don't know what the hell I am doing in the middle of the night. You probably don't want to know. But whatever it is.
Are you waking up sore?
Sometimes I'll wake up, yeah, but then I'm okay once I put this on. And then during the day, I'm fine until 6 o'clock at night. And then it starts doing its weird thing. I might need therapy. Here's the issue. Try the Maximum Relief Rub. If you're dealing with pain, if you're dealing with inflammation, try the Maximum Relief Rub from Patriots Relief at getmojocbd.com. Use the promo code DailyMojo. What happens when they do that, Ron?
Well, they're going to get 40% off of their order right off the top. Yeah. Nice.
I mean, I was trying to do a mic drop. That didn't really work. But you know what I'm saying? It's amazing, and I really do. I will sing the praises of CBD because I think it works. And when you do, so your choice is, do you go to the gas station and pick up the CBD along with your gas station sushi? No. You go to a reputable source like Patriots Relief at getmojocbd.com. If you've never tried CBD, dip your toe in, especially if your toe is swollen or hurts.
Yeah, so as you can see on the screen, they do ship same day. I think as long as it's ordered before 3 or 4, they're on Eastern time, but they are a good Christian family. I've talked to Tim Roberts. We're gonna have Tim Roberts on the show. We tried to have him today, but he's on vacation, so he'll be back with us sometime after the 25th.
Slacker.
Yeah. But here's the thing. On the website, if you want to learn about any of the products that they have complete detailed information there, and you can read about all of the products that are listed there, what the ingredients are, what the directions for taking them every day are. The information is out there.
You won't find the meaning of life there, though.
You won't find the meaning of life.
You will not find the meaning of life.
But when we get Tim on the show, we can hit him with so many questions. Oh, he can explain it, and he's really good at it. So get MoJo CBD. Go. Yep.
That's the official website, getmojocbd.com. Again, if you're on board the CBD train already, you do not need any convincing. If you've never tried CBD, give this a shot. I think you will be amazed. Promo code DailyMojo, and again, getmojocbd.com. Let's see. This one.
The Daily Mojo, making mornings bright with Brad and Ron. They keep it funky tight. News, laughs, and the moves that
right, the funky music, white boys. It is the Daily Mojo for Friday, Freedom Friday. Not so fast. I was like, where did I get that title today? And then I realized, oh yeah, Lee Corso. I was reading about Lee Corso. He is retiring. Lee Corso, do you know how old he is? 90.
Wow.
Now, I don't often watch college game day.
Yeah.
But you know who Lee Corso is, right?
Yes.
I mean, he's the...
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
He does for his predictions, he puts on the different uniforms, or the different mascot hats and heads.
Willie the Wildcat! Go Kansas State!
Lee Corso said,
ow! You know, that hurt.
Let the purple rain begin.
Playing to the fans, huh? No. All right, not so fast,
right
my
here.
friend.
Not so fast, my. I was like, oh yeah, I got that from Lee Corso, didn't I? Not so fast, my friend.
1998!
You know, he is 90 years old because because that's the picture, the image I had of Lee Corso in my head. Have you seen Lee Corso lately?
No.
Lee Corso is no spring chicken. And God bless him for hanging on this long.
Here in Michigan Stadium. Yeah. Michigan has the nation's longest winning streak. Yeah. 16. Yeah. It's a perfect place for Texas to beat them. Oh.
I mean, hey, look, I hope I can still speak when I'm 90.
The big house, he goes heel.
But you can kind of tell he's 90. It was. Remember when Dick Clark, after Dick Clark had the stroke?
Yeah.
It was like, oh, dude, I love you. Please don't go back on television.
Yeah.
It was painful to watch him.
Well, it wasn't Dick Clark at that point.
No, exactly. Yeah. And I think Lee probably knows, hey, it's time to, but Lee's probably scared that he, the worst thing to do in some people's cases is to retire. Because then what do you do? You sit around, you wait. Yeah. You wait.
I mean, who wants to go out having been forgotten? I mean, come on, dude. Now I get it that some people. I get that some people.
You don't want to be remembered for the wrong thing.
I don't disagree. I mean, Gene Hackman, give us a break. Come on, the guy hadn't been in movies in a long time.
20 years.
Yeah, nobody had seen him for a long time.
Different situation because now we're all thinking, "Ooh, he was."
I know that's what I'm saying.
What was the mystery of Gene Hackman?
Yeah.
We didn't play the body cam, did we? The footage yet?
No, we haven't played.
I played
it
yet. On the Wednesday watch party. It's kind of freaky.
It is freaky.
Oh, and before
that house
the end
is
of the
huge,
program,
by the way.
But messy.
It was messy, but it was freaking huge because it took them like 15 minutes to walk from where she was to where he was.
I'm surprised that dog didn't bite somebody's face off. But Lee Corso, again, dude works a lot. That was his side gig, ESPN Game Day, College Game Day. He was the director of business development for Ticonderoga Industries, who makes number 2 pencils, which is why he was always holding a number 2 pencil. This is a promo or commercial he did fairly recently.
It's the number 2 pencil that erases the competition. Dixon Ticonderoga, the pencil that writes for 35 miles.
Keep your eye on the green and yellow, sports fans.
That's the Lee Corso I remember.
Hey, what a pencil! Not so fast, my friend.
Not so fast.
Once again, the yellow and green goes the distance.
Can't play without the right stuff. Dixon Ticonderoga.
Do you realize a pencil would write for 35 miles?
I had
maybe
no
they
idea.
all don't.
Yeah, maybe they don't.
Maybe that's the difference between a true number 2 Ticonderoga and your average, fake number 2 pencil. There is a difference. But anyway, good for Lee Corso. He's moving on at the age of 90, and hopefully doesn't do the big move on, because that would not be good. Rumble chat room, Bob Teagarden. So when these AI created jingles and songs get created, who holds the rights to that content? That's a fascinating question, because you can, for instance, when you create a song at Suno, that's one of the big AI platforms for music creation. it depends on what package you buy as to whether or not you retain the commercial rights for it. I don't think we've seen the end of litigation over AI content because AI is basing what it creates on what it already knows, and the only thing it knows is what we've fed into it, which means it's basing its creations on intellectual property that came from someone else's intellect. I mean, but in a way, don't we all do that? Don't we all steal like an artist? I mean, anything we create as a human being is based on our experience in life, things that we have taken in, filtered through our brains, and then, output through our hands and, in some cases, toes. Like that one chick that can, you ever seen her? She can draw 4 pictures at the same time.
Yep.
One with each hand and one with each foot.
Yes.
And they're good. I mean, there was a time that I could, hold the pencil between my toes. I can't feel my feet anymore, so that makes it difficult. Although it's nice if you trip over something, because it used to be, it hurts and now it's like, I felt resistance. I think I tripped on something.
Hope I didn't break my foot. Yeah.
Right. Oh, yeah. Right now I've got because of my retarded foot and the distribution. For somebody who hates feet, you should talk about them a lot, Brad. I know. By the way, I identify as they.
Nice.
Because there's somebody else. There's a mouse in my pocket. But because the distribution of weight on my different toes now, I'm putting a lot of strain on my number 2 toe. And let me just say, it's not pretty down there. Speaking of not pretty, see what I did there?
Yeah.
Letitia James in the news once again. She was on New York One. Their what's it called? In the City. No, it's an Eagles song. Bill Walsh. Can't remember the name of the program, but she's on there and she is discussing with the host of the program whether or not all of this stuff, these things that she's been charged with, is simply political retribution. What do you think she said, Ron?
Of course it is.
Really? You think that
that's what she said? Yes. Not that
that's weird that you.
Yeah, not that she was doing the same thing. So
no.
Miss James, thanks for joining us.
Thank you for having me, Errol.
Absolutely. What is going on here? Did anybody contact you before this letter went out accusing you of this, that, and the other and making a criminal referral about real estate?
Accusing you? Wait a second. Isn't that what they did to Trump? Didn't they accuse him of this, that, and the other, essentially?
Yeah, they won't talk about that right here.
Well, because, and what was it that Trump did that was so heinous? He, this, that, and the other. Because no one could ever really articulate what the hell he overvalued his property. Says who? Something is only worth what someone is willing to pay for. It
says her. It's funny. She's the only one who really said it.
Well, and the other fat dude, Alvin Bragg.
Alvin Bragg.
He was in on it too. But and you know who else loves to do that?
Everybody.
City assessors, county assessors. Yep. They love to tell you your property is worth so much more than you realize.
Transactions?
No, not at all. And let me just say to all New Yorkers and to all Americans, the allegations are baseless.
I did not have sexual relations with that woman, with Miss Lewinsky. And I just need to get back onto the work of, don't show me wrong. That's Bill Clinton talking.
Oh, okay, sorry.
Take me off. I did not have sexual relations with that woman, with Miss Lewinsky. I need to get back onto the business of running the country.
The allegations are nothing more than a revenge tour.
Yeah.
And as you mentioned, my office was successful in securing a...
Did she say revenge porn?
Revenge tour.
$454 million judgment against Donald Trump and others. For exaggerating the value of his assets. He engaged in a pattern and practice of fraud. And the interest is accruing each and every day while the case is on appeal in the First Department. It's important that individuals...
Wow, they still... Okay, so that case is still hot.
apparently.
And again, what she's saying he did, what she even said, exaggerated. Is that a crime? I didn't realize exaggerating was. I mean, because she articulated right there what he did, exaggerated the value of his. Is it a crime to exaggerate? While she claimed
she lied.
She flat out, well, she lied about living in one place or the other as her primary. You can't have two primary residences. You got one and you got the other.
And claimed her dad as her husband.
Individuals know that this is nothing more than the continuation of the tour. He went after law firms, universities, immigrants, women.
Women? What women do you go after? Yeah. What women did Trump go after? E. Jean Carroll thing? Ew. 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 I'm serious. I mean, would you, Ron?
No.
You know, E. Jean Carroll? No, because yeah. Anyway, there's more of Letitia James, and we have some suggestive photographs of her coming up as well, so you want to hang out for that. I know Ron is really looking forward to watching the, right?
No.
Are you sure?
I'm positive.
Okay. We have some suggestive photographs of Phil Bell.
Do we?
Yeah, we'll do those next.
Every day at the top of the hour, I flip on the radio for a blast of truth and power from the Daily MoJo. Give me the MoJo.
The Daily MoJo.
Give me the MoJo.
The Daily MoJo.
Give me the MoJo.
The Daily MoJo.
Give me the MoJo.
Radio with an attitude.
Friday on the Daily MoJo, Freedom Friday. As a matter of fact, we are keeping track of all of your movements. We watch you. We watch you more than the NSA watches you. Deb Treadway over here says, this little pinky head roast beef. Oh, because Dr. Zoe knows Bard identifies as a pinky toe. Do I? I mean, if anything, I'm going to... What do you call the second toe next to your big toe?
Your pointer toe? I don't know.
Is that a pointer toe?
I don't know.
Can you point with that toe? What can you do?
I'm trying
you
it right now. No, I can't.
You can do some pretty amazing stuff with that other... Oh, look at the time. It's all right.
The First Amendment lives here.
Freedom Friday. Oh, it's Freedom Friday. Phil Bell. He got the freedom in his mojo. Your Daily MoJo. Phil Bell.
You know, it was...
Phil Bell.
It was Robert LaBella, our original, the OG Babalabala, who was like, I was watching last Friday, and she says, I can't believe that Phil Bell has his own walk-on music.
Yeah, he does.
I know, right? That way, but yeah. Got you. Did you ever think you'd live to see the day you had your own walk-on music?
I never did think that, but I got to say this. I just want to warn the audience, there will be no suggestive photos of me, but there are suggestive photos of trains in the All Things Trains 2025 calendar. They suggest that you ride the train. There you go.
Train porn. There you go. Where can people get the calendar?
Well, they can get it. Just send me a private message at PhilBell4022 on X, and I will send it to you. And I got a deal. So anybody who is a Daily MoJo listener, and we know you're a listener because you'll be contacting us this way, you get it for free. Look, we're almost in May.
Whoa.
I'm not going to shake you down, but I'll send it to you for free. You name it.
Man, that's a heck of a deal from our own. Did you have to negotiate with Big Mike to give away the stuff, or doesn't Big Mike have some rights in this?
Yes. It was actually a very, very tough negotiation. But I ended up winning out. All I have to do though is provide more electricity for a set number of days. But it works.
Right. All right. So you sent me a story on Sean Hannity. I think of Sean Hannity so rarely. But I have not read this yet. This is from the Americans for Tax Reform website. And the headline is Sean Hannity rips tax rate hike. What is, first of all, it's the first I'm hearing of a tax rate hike. But what's this all about?
So let me set the stage for you. Right now, as you know, the White House and the Congress is working to extend the Trump tax cuts, or at least that's supposed to be the goal. Well, a few days ago, there was an unnamed White House source, and we all know in every administration how they do this. This is the way of floating a trial balloon, of actually ending the current top tax rate and allowing it to go up over 40%. Now, this is a problem for a variety of reasons. Number one, because the whole point of the Trump tax cuts was to keep the taxes cut and actually go further. So that's number one. And number two, let's also remember that the wealthy also include individual small business owners like me, who then will have to pay that top tax rate if they have any appreciable level of revenue whatsoever. So this is a way of raising taxes, and it's the old liberal Democrat song of raising taxes on the wealthy. And it's preposterous to me that we are living in 2025 in the MAGA era, and there are people in the White House undermining President Trump that are talking about potentially raising taxes on anybody in the United States.
So you think that this is something within the administration that is going against Donald Trump's agenda right now? Because at first blush, I think, well, wait a second. He's trying to get rid of the income tax in America, replace it with tariffs. At least that seems to be the plan, which, hey, I'm good with that. But you say there's somebody in there putting out this propaganda, and you don't think that this, you think this has legs? Or, I mean, is this just something that they threw out there to, again, be a bone for someone to chase after?
See, I absolutely think that there are enough legs in there for it to be an issue, and here's why. We all remember when it comes to cutting taxes, and this is one of the ways that the government has scammed us for years. When it comes to cutting taxes, the government will go out and say, well, wait a minute, how much money is the government going to lose? But let's also remember, whenever there's a cut, it does not mean the government will spend less in the upcoming year. It means they will spend a lower level of increase. So that's like me saying, okay, next year I plan to buy 2 Ferraris, but oh no, my sugar mama, Big Gretch, cut the amount of money that I have, so I'll only be able to get 1 new Ferrari next year. Oh, boo-hoo. That's what the government does. So when they have been going out and trying to set up the tax cuts, the Congressional Budget Office is saying, well, the government's going to lose this amount of money and so forth. So they say we have to pay for the tax cuts by somehow raising this year or adjusting that over there. And that's the reason why this has legs.
First of all, bit of advice, I think, from Ron and me to you. Remember, Gretchen Whitmer, date, not marry. Just remember.
Right. Let's see.
And honestly,
I'm a little worried because I've professed my love for her so much that I might get a knock at the door and it'll be her husband, Mr. Big Gretch, like throwing her in here and saying, now you get to pay her bills. I don't want that.
Because no matter how good looking they are, somewhere there's somebody tired of. All right. So you think that and I agree with your assessment on, I hate it when the voices of government come out and say, how much is this tax cut going to cost the government? That irritates. How are we going to pay for this tax cut? Bothers the crap out of me because we've gotten so used to it, or the majority of people have gotten so used to it. Well, we know we have to pay taxes. We know we have to. They don't question it, mainly because it just magically comes out of their paycheck. Again, if more people had to write that check every quarter or at the end of the year, that'd be even better. If they just had to wait until the end of the year, and then they'd realize how much money they don't have in their account to not pay the taxes, And then, of course, there'd be penalties. But if more people had to do that, there would be a tax revolt, I think. There should be in this country if more people realized.
See, I think we have actually set the stage for a tax revolt with Doge and everything that's going on there, because now it's very, very easy for more people to see the absurdity that's going on. And it really did take a voice like Elon Musk, who was not part of the political sphere, to say, hey, look, this is how you're getting scammed. So that's a positive. But the other thing, and you are 100% correct, Brad, what has to happen is ending tax withholding. Everybody, whether it is writing a monthly check or quarterly check or yearly check, should have to pay taxes that way. Because number one, this will make it so the government has to justify its existence and what they do on a regular basis. Right now, they don't. And number two, there are so many people, and I don't think they're stupid because it's the way that this has been sold, but the idea of a tax refund. Oh my gosh, I'm getting a tax refund. Let me go to the casino. Let me go buy a Nissan Altima. Let me, that has become not just a cottage industry, but a major industry, and it has to end. And that's why I'm hoping that there will be enough Americans who take advantage of the 4 years remaining with President Trump, because it's still almost 4 full years, to have real substantive tax changes, starting with an end to withholding.
Yeah, and you're absolutely right on the tax refund machine. I would be fascinated to. I haven't ever done this, but I think I will go back and find out when and who came up with it's a marketing slogan. Get your tax refund. So I'll bet you they came up. They being the government, the people who are pro-tax up in D.C. probably went to a marketing agency and said, let's create this image that you're getting a payday from the government. That had to have been handcrafted, architected, if you will, because it's just, like you said, people love it. I'm getting a refund. They don't think of it as I'm getting the damn loan repayment back, because that's what it is. You've loaned the government money interest-free over the course of the past year. It's just, which is another reason to defund PBS and NPR. Good grief.
Well, here's
and
another
they will
thing.
Continue. Go ahead.
It's not just that you loan them money interest-free, which is bad. It's the fact that you didn't have the use of your money right then. So if you say, okay, well, hey, Phil, you could go on a weekend trip to see a really neat train. You know what? I can't do that. I just don't have the money. I had to pay this, that, or the other. Well, that was an opportunity that you missed out on. Now everyone will say, well, it doesn't really matter. We need to pay for gay stuff in Iran rather than you going to see that train. But you know what? That's an opportunity in your life, no matter how trivial someone else might find it, that you don't get to participate in. And that also means maybe you can't make that investment in a stock that could help support your retirement because you gave it to them to do with whatever they wanted. So it's not just the fact that you gave them money interest-free, it's that you gave them money interest-free, they misspent it, and you didn't have access to it when you needed it. And the same goes for the other scam associated, Social Security, which is an absolute Ponzi scheme. And if you ever tried to do that in the private sector, they will put you in prison. So that's why it shouldn't be done by government either.
Well, and I don't know if California is still going through this. I know Illinois at one point, and probably still is, the Ponzi scheme of the pensions within like the fire department, where it would take, it took like 4 full-time firefighters to be able to fund the pension fund of one already retired firefighter. And that number kept going up. And, at one point it was like 10 firefighters, their salaries, the money that they paid in was just funding a single firefighter's pension. I wonder how that has played out. Have you checked on that lately at all? Because I'd like to see how imbalanced that is these days.
I haven't seen where that is lately, but I do want to add something to that. That's a problem, but a bigger problem is that a lot of state pension funds estimated their costs based on overly optimistic returns from investments, and not just public stock markets, but also private markets like private equity funds, hedge funds, and so on. So they just basically said, look, if we can get a 10% return, a 20% return, whatever, then we'll be able to do this. So they started with the Ponzi scheme, and then they layered on top of it unrealistic returns, and therefore there will come a day, and the day is not going to be sometime far, far in the future, where it will take a lot more people, assuming that they want to do things like be firefighters, which is very difficult to get people to do, by the way, in order to pay these pensions. And then who is going to have to pay it? It's either going to be we, the broader taxpayers, or the government is going to start saying no to people that it supposedly promised things to.
Yeah, they will find a way to suck money out of your account one way or the other. I'm going to kind of do this backwards. I'll talk about the Pennsylvania charge, then go into Slate. But and Beaver, thanks for sending this to me. The up in Pennsylvania, Act 85 last year, it was amended by Act 149, passed by the Pennsylvania General Assembly, signed into law by Josh Shapiro, setting the Commonwealth on a path to modernize how electric vehicle and plug-in hybrid vehicle owners support road and bridge maintenance. Pennsylvania began two weeks ago, basically. Pennsylvania began to charge EV and PHEV owners a yearly road user charge.
Yeah.
Because they're not using any gas. So they find a way to get you one way or the other.
Yep, they absolutely do. And this is kind of one of the most interesting things about the whole EV revolution, which was not a revolution. It was simply being imposed on us from above. That's so interesting because they said, oh, we want you to drive EVs. Oh, we want you to do this because it's going to be better for the environment. And then, wait a minute, but you're not paying for the roads. Now, first of all, let's also remember that you are being taxed heavily on your income in almost every state. There's only a few of them that don't have an income tax. And the government is the largest purchaser of services, including road maintenance, highway maintenance, paving, and so forth that's out there. So I want you to remember that the next time that somebody says that it's going to cost this, it's going to cost that, it's going to cost the other, look at how many different companies are involved in highway maintenance, and then look at how many governments there are, and you're going to see the number is dramatically out of balance. Not many governments, lots of people who are willing to do road maintenance, paving, and so forth for the government. That means the prices should come down. But they said, oh, no. The prices are going up. So we're going to have to charge you. So Pennsylvania had at one point a special fuels fee, and now they've changed it to this fee because they can't keep up.
Interestingly, because you and I were talking about this before the program, the whether or not Pennsylvania has a budget surplus, and if they have a budget surplus, why are they so worried about charging these EV owners a fee for driving on the roads? This, according to WHYY, the public broadcasting station up there in Pennsylvania, the headline: Pennsylvania is flush with surplus cash, but it still faces a looming budget problem. This was March 14th, 2024. Ron,
right.
Would you... That's the Sean Hannity piece. I'll put this over there. There you go. They have a surplus, according to this story. It has built up roughly $14 billion in financial reserves over the past 4 years, thanks to stimulus dollars and strong tax returns. But still, they want to charge the EV owners. Well, they don't want to. They're just gonna. Right. What is it? EVs. You get 1 year, $200, or 2 years you get for $400.
Right.
They give you a nice little tidy discount there. So yeah, they're going to get your money one way or the other.
Yeah, and they're indexing it to the CPI after that, Consumer Price Index. So nobody really knows, because if you read the language, well, they're going to index it to the Consumer Price Index. What does that exactly mean? How does that indexing work? It doesn't matter, because they're going to impose it on you anyway. But wait, there's even more, because there is now a program that Pennsylvania has where they are taking revenue from speed cameras and red light cameras in Philadelphia and then distributing it across the state in the form of grants to help pay for roads and traffic improvements and so on. Oh, and did I also mention they're offering EV tax credits at the same time? This is just another example of the schizophrenic government who, on one hand, they have money, and they won't spend it on you. But on the other hand, they don't have any money, so you got to pay it in every way possible.
Right. Every time I hear economic price index, I think of the Jefferson Starship song, Stairway to Cleveland, and what you're going to do about the economic price index. All right, so let's talk about Slate, not the publication, but the EV startup that, surprise, Jeff Bezos is behind this, or is one of the major players behind this EV startup.
Yes. I think this is a really interesting story. I actually think it's a good story. I'm not an EV driver, and even though I want to support Elon as much as possible, I don't plan on buying an EV anytime soon. But I think it is a great story in terms of American ingenuity that someone like Jeff Bezos and also Mark Walter, who is one of the managing partners or the managing partner, the Los Angeles Dodgers and so on, have decided to get together and try to build a new auto company. And here's why. Number one, look at what's happened. There's really only been one successful EV automaker, and that's Tesla. All the others have either consumed a lot of cash and set it on fire, or gone bankrupt, and at least in two cases, had some kind of lawsuits and fraud and whatnot involved. So to get into this marketplace at a time when it is so difficult to prove that it works is noteworthy. And the fact that people who have a fortune and are willing to risk that fortune is something that says a lot to me. Now, I know there are a lot of folks out there that are going to say, wait a minute, Phil, I don't get it. This doesn't really sound like a great story. It's not a guy that's working in his garage. But one of the big problems that we've had in America for years is that we've been unwilling to take risks. So when you see people who could lose a lot, go ahead and risk a lot, I think that's great.
Well, and according to the story, they're trying to produce a car. I think they said 2-seater.
Yeah.
EV for $25,000, which,
right.
Yeah, that's not bad in terms of car price. I mean, most cars these days, people are only concerned about getting their monthly payment down below $500 for 12 years, which is mind blowing. But the problem with EVs, and let's not forget, the EV actually came before the internal combustion engine. Well,
yes,
when it comes to automobiles, 100 years ago, 110, 15 years ago, the electric cars were taking off. And the internal combustion engine in vehicles came along, and the market preferred the gas-powered engine. Now, there may have been some shenanigans involved, with the internal combustion engine industry back then, and the oil industry. Those industries, or industry in general, especially in a capitalist economy, will try to influence buyers' choices. That's capitalism. Right. But the bottom line is that the internal combustion engine won the contest over 100 years ago, and for whatever reason, we know why, and government continues to try to push these EVs on people, whether they want them or not. And I don't have any problem with people buying EVs. I'd rather have a hybrid myself, because I think they're I don't want to say dependable, but they're more versatile. And so you have options. You're keeping your options open. But I know people who use EVs as their daily drivers, and they're happy with them. But as soon as the government tries to tell you you've got to do it, that's when we need to draw the line.
Amen. What I like about this the most is, one, and I don't want to get too deep into it, but I always like to think that America lost its mojo, its daily mojo, in the 1960s. And at that point, you saw so much innovation stop. And after that, whenever it came to doing something large and industrial, the answer was almost, oh, you can't do it. John DeLorean was a maverick because he went out and tried to start his own auto company, and they managed to stop him there. I think we talked about that a few weeks ago. And so whenever you see this, whenever you see something that's new and it's industrial now, as long as it is not a child of subsidies, which sadly a lot of them are, although it does not look like this is looking directly to capitalize on the EV subsidies that are out there, then what you'll also see are more entrepreneurs and more people who have money be willing to risk their money on this, money and time. And so that means, you know what? The next guy who comes along and says, I don't want to build EVs. I want to build good internal combustion engine cars. Maybe I want to build a steam car like the Stanley Steamer, the original Stanley Steamer, because there's something to it. There will be money out there willing to entertain it, as opposed to just shut the door and tell the guy he's crazy.
People also, well, I say people, the people on the left, the people in the progressive agenda, for whatever reason, well, they're schizophrenic, that's why, and because they're crazy, that's the other reason, hate Elon Musk. After loving on him for years because of, the Tesla automobile, but then Orange Man bad, so they had to hate on him too. And I remember a story in the past, 3-4 months about the Chinese EV manufacturer that was overtaking sales. It was overtaking Tesla. Ooh, you got better watch out, Elon, because BYD, I think it's BYD.
BYD, yeah.
Not the song by Michael Jackson, but this Chinese company that I've read stories about them, and much like the ghost cities that they build, they were building a crap ton of these cars and just parking them, in a parking lot somewhere, and then issuing phony titles on them, so it made it look like they were out in the marketplace. There are, you're familiar with them, right? BYD?
Yes, absolutely. And you know what? You're 100% correct. That's exactly what China is known for, because and this is a really interesting thing to think about. China is controlling the people by giving them jobs and creating phony economic output. In America, they're controlling the people by having cheap stuff, right? So that's really where a lot of the conversation over tariffs and manufacturing and so on has come from, because the more and more that people remain passive, whether here or in China, the government will have an easy time controlling you. And so that's, again, why it is so good that you have entrepreneurs that are going out and saying, hey, wait a minute, you know what? I'm not going to be part of the system, even though Jeff Bezos in many ways is part of the system. I'm going to help give people more freedom and opportunity to move about, to do whatever it is that they are choosing to do. And that's what's so good. But the other important thing to remember is this is also where we, the people, have an opportunity to help influence and change laws and rules so that we do not become yet another group of controlled people like the Chinese citizens.
Well, and Bezos, being able to send up 6 babes in a rocket ship shaped like a penis, and the issue with people refusing, and there's still a segment of the population out there that is refusing to believe that thing was real. Again, I wasn't standing there. I didn't physically see them go up, aside from on my electronic television device, but I'm pretty sure they went up in the rocket. Is it not strange to you, the number of people that are just refusing to believe that actually happened?
Well, you know what? It's not strange, and I'll tell you why. Several things. First of all, it is noteworthy that whatever capsule that they came out of didn't have heat shield marks on it. So you go to anything, the space shuttle, the Apollo capsules, Elon Musk, all of those, there is some kind of distortion to the heat shield because it came back in. Now, they didn't go up as high, they didn't stay up as long, that kind of thing, so you're not going to have as much. That's number one. The other reason why I think it's reasonable that people are skeptical is you are sending up there a very, very august group. Now, Katy Perry for me was Big Gretch before Big Gretch, right? And I don't really take any of those people seriously anymore. That said, it would be a big problem if you sent a bunch of celebrities into space and for whatever reason they didn't come back down. So that's a high risk. And somebody like Jeff Bezos, as much money as he has, that could wipe him out because so much confidence would be lost. Now, I do believe that they went up and, they had their little joyride and came down. And what I am more concerned with is how the media was out there trying to portray it as some kind of victory for girl power or something like that, when in reality, it doesn't make women look better. It makes them look worse.
Right. But they did actually come up with a definition for women, at least during that mission.
That's true.
It seemed.
They know what a woman is now.
Yeah,
yes.
for at least that moment in time. Back to the bid company over in China. If you look up any information about this, and again, those in the legacy media were just tickled all kinds of pink because, they outselling Tesla. But these bid cars, they've got their own set of problems. They're catching fire, stolen tech, stolen IP. There are entire subreddits about this. They've one in particular said bid has repeatedly had cars self-combusting, breaking within weeks of purchase, heavily subsidized by the Chinese government, and the IP that they are taking and using, which is what China does.
Right.
When we send stuff over there, I say we, companies here in America send any kind of IP over there to be mass produced, China just knocks it off and creates their own China pad or the China phone that looks suspiciously like an iPhone or an iPad. They did the same thing. These bid cars probably have Tesla IP in them, and even though Elon builds his cars here.
Right. Now, he does build some in China for the Chinese market. And remember, one of the things that China does, and this is why I disagree with a lot of my fellow conservatives when it comes to China policy and trade policy and so on in many cases. What they do is they will say, if you want to sell here, if you want to be part of it, you've got to find a local partner. And let's be honest, I do not have a problem with if you start working with somebody and they look over and say, you know what? I kind of like that. Let me see how I can improve on it. And they do their own thing. That's human nature. That's how the Japanese got to be so good at producing VCRs and doing everything that we did, because they would go and reverse engineer it. China, though, they will say you cannot be in our market for any reason at all unless you comply with everything, which is you are basically going to give us your intellectual property so we can steal it and make our own thing. That's the way they roll. That's also why I think what President Trump is doing to hold them to account is important. But there's one other thing here. What you're seeing with BYD's vehicles, as well as some EVs here in the United States, is an example of why government shouldn't get involved. If you had somebody that said, I'm a car guy, I want to build cars, and I want to build the best EVs out there, and the only way I'm going to be able to do it is if the consumer can rely on it, they would not have put this stuff on the road until it was ready, and and just random combustion wouldn't be part of the deal.
Mm-hmm. Exactly. All right. So what's happening with the All-American Talk Show over on YouTube?
Well, we had a great show last week this week, I should say, with April Chapman, who is a tremendous YouTuber. Now, she's several steps below Brad Staggs and Ron Phillips, but she is an amazing YouTuber. I mean, I gotta keep it 100 here, right? But she was tremendous, had a great show. Go out and check that out. And we are going to have some more really interesting shows coming up, one next week. And I will finally be back in the studio for the first time in several weeks because I've been traveling, and it will be great to be back there. And that's Tuesday, 6:30 p.m. Eastern.
All right. And then over at AllThingsTrains USA on the YouTube as well.
Yeah, we're going to have a couple of great new episodes coming out on All Things Trains. One of them is a little bit of a redo of what I did last week when we were talking about, or earlier this week, I should say, at the New Jersey Transaction Conference. The second is on Amtrak's presidents. And I've actually got audio from a certain handsome man who may be wearing a Trump hat right now and hanging out with Big Mike from 2005. That's it. So certain audio from 2005 that you're going to want to hear.
Very nice. Very nice. Ladies and gentlemen, it is, of course, the one, the only Phil Bell, along with his trusted sidekick, Big Mike, on the Daily MoJo. Get out there and get them before they get you. And we'll talk again next week, my friend.
See you, Phil.
All right. Have a great weekend.
All right. As a reward for listening and watching the Daily MoJo on Friday, coming up in just a second, you will get to look behind the scenes, as it were, as we create the next Freedom Friday video.
Okay.
We'll do that next on the Daily MoJo. I say we'll do that next on the Daily MoJo.
Yeah, makes me feel all right. today, and we all know what tomorrow brings. Yeah, I love living free in the land of dreams. We'll have a Sunday morning baking, singing God bless this nation, drinking whiskey in the bar, playing cards. Oh, you know it's hard. It's 2 more days till Monday, 2 more days till Monday, 2 more days till Monday. I love Friday. 2 more days till Monday. I love Friday. I love the sound of the waves on the bay. Love Saturday and the sweet lemonade. You know that we've all been working hard, so take a break and have some fun. Ain't nothing like this feeling, gonna last all weekend. I got my friends in the yard playing cards. Oh, you know it's hard. 2 more days till Monday, 2 more days till Monday, 2 more days till Monday, 2 more days till Monday. I love Friday. 2 more days till Monday.
Your Daily Mojo.
2 more days till Monday.
It is Freedom Friday on the Daily Mojo. That they're still working in the studio right now on the new video and the new song for Friday morning, Freedom Friday, here on the Daily Mojo. So you just got to see behind the scenes. I mean, we spare every expense when it comes to these new videos that are coming out, and the wages that we have to pay some of these singers and dancers. It's not cheap. It's not cheap. Nope. And especially with union wages. Union wages have been they've really kind of kicked our ass. It's kind of what happened. It's kind of what happened in the 70s.
Yeah.
With cartoons. Cartoons were fabulous in the 70s. I mean, you had Bugs Bunny, Roadrunner, you had Scooby-Doo.
Oh, dude, I would get up in the morning, on Saturday mornings, grab my Oreos, and go sit in front of the TV for hours. Saturday morning
cartoon. Grab your Oreos.
Hell sounds, yeah, that was breakfast for me. Thank you very much. Or a box of cereal. I just grabbed the box.
What happened with the eye?
Maybe.
You start all that sugary goodness.
But dude, Saturday morning cartoons, come on.
But what happened was you had, at least one part of it, was you had the local cartoonists, the artists. They were part of a union. It was, what was the union? It was, I saw it in the credits for the Coyote and Roadrunner show. And I looked it up, and it was like, oh, that's the union of animators. And as they started asking for more money, producers started
dropping
outsourcing to China, to India, to Japan, to other overseas animators where they could again.
And that's how we got anime today. And what do you call it? Manga.
You can get a whole.
I don't know.
Bucali?
No. No,
Brad, and you're thinking of Bukele. He's the president of El Salvador. Something completely different. But that's part of what made it went away. Part of what made it go away is the increased labor costs, which we're seeing. That's what happens to everything. I mean, it's good and it's bad to be the leader of the free world, but we sometimes, forget to stop and smell the roses. And what's the answer? I mean, when you're demanding $20 an hour to work at McDonald's to flip burgers, all I'm saying is that the burgers are going to eventually get more expensive. And you'd think with the money they must be making, they could afford to fix the damn milkshake machine. But no.
You would think. No.
No, they can't for whatever reason. Who is over in the Zoom room this morning?
Oh, we got quite a few over there this morning. Free-range prisoner, of course, working his joystick there. Hey, John. Diablo, the turtle. Of course, Lep, and he's nowhere to be found. I don't know what's going on. Whiskey in the truck. Morning, bud. There's the FAFO surveillance sign. That's Timmy. Kathy in the Berg, you know why there's a Second Amendment? In case the government fails to follow the first one. And then Roger Rabbit's truck and misinformation in her, I guess I would call that a sultry look.
I think that's more of a wascally wabbit look.
Wascally wabbit look?
Wascally wabbit. It's just that attitude. Going back to the 70s and the 80s, do you remember Gemco? You probably didn't have Gemcos here, did you?
Was that a store?
Yeah.
No.
It was a department store.
No, we didn't have.
It was
not that I recall.
It was a membership department store. I think membership cost $1. It was not a big deal to, you had to go get your little membership card. I remember mine. And if you'd forgotten it or if you didn't have one, and we as, junior high school, we thought we were pretty cool if we would just show our wallet, but not have the card and just try to fake them out, which most of the time it was just go ahead.
Yeah.
Unlike Costco today, you best not try to sneak into Costco on somebody else's card. Oh,
yeah.
They are cracking down. Let me tell you, I saw them stop one person the other day, and they're like, "Oh, you got to get over there and get your renewal done. Is that your card? That doesn't look like you." Mine doesn't look like me anymore either, but that's a different story. But so you had the Gemco membership department store. They had a grocery department. They had electronics. They had clothes. They were a division of Lucky Brands, which was Lucky Supermarkets.
Okay.
And I worked there for a year or so.
At the Lucky Supermarket? Yeah.
No, at Gemco.
Oh, at Gemco. Okay.
Yeah.
So it was like, was it like Walmart's are now?
Higher end than Walmart.
Okay.
They turned it, most of them.
I know Walmart was around, but I'm talking about like Walmart super centers.
No, Walmart wasn't around back. I don't think
it was
Walmart
around in the 80s.
In the 70s.
Oh, in the 70s.
Not
this
in the
is
70s.
an 84 commercial. That's why I asked. Okay.
Gemco's lasted, they went out of business in 86. When was Walmart store created? When were they? The first Walmart was 1962 in Rogers, Arkansas.
Yeah.
Because I don't remember ever seeing those growing up in California. And they may just not have been in California. Or any Walmarts in California in the 70s, in the 1970s. Nope. No Walmart stores in California during the 70s, according to Wikipedia, that bastion of truth and light, which that's the other thing about Google AI.
Yeah.
Sometimes it sources
Wikipedia.
Yeah. So be careful. Walmart didn't expand to the West Coast until the summer of 1990.
Oh, wow. Okay.
So, wow, but that's still 35 years ago.
It is.
1990 doesn't feel like 35 years ago.
It does not.
Literally half a lifetime. So this commercial, I can't remember why I was looking at Gemco. I think I stumbled across a Facebook group. And this commercial from 1984, again, 2 years before they went they didn't technically go out of business. A lot of them became Targets. I think they were bought by Target Corporation. So a lot of Targets were Gemcos. This commercial is interesting in that.
Chicken and twice. Come and find the right gift at the right price. Let Gemco help the Santa in you.
This Christmas, you can find quality Zenith products at low Gemco prices. Like this 19-inch Custom Series color TV with remote control. Gemco price just $379.88. Or this 14-day programmable VHS video cassette recorder by Zenith. Buy now and receive wireless remote control free. Your cost just $479.80.
Let Gemco help the Santa in you.
All right, so $379 for a 19-inch color TV, a Zenith 19-inch color TV. Not bad, right?
No, not at the time.
Except that was 1984.
I get that.
Do you know what the equivalent to that is in today's dollars?
Probably about $4,000.
$1,471.
Really?
For a 19-inch color TV. That was expensive.
It was. But $479 for a VHS player? Come on, dude.
That's even more.
You can get those for like $60 now, if that.
You can get those for free.
Well, I guess you can.
You can go down to the Salvation Army and offer them $1. And you can get a VCR because
get them on Facebook Marketplace. Yeah.
Go to Goodwill. That's what I did. And I think I paid $5 for the VCR.
My mom still has a
400
ton of VHS tapes, man. A ton.
You need to digitize those. 1984, so $480 in 1984. If you were to buy that VCR today, $1,490.45. I mean, that was not cheap. What in the hell? How do we afford TVs in 1984?
Yeah.
See how spoiled we are? Because now you go to Costco and you can buy 60, 70-inch flat screen TVs for $359.
Yeah.
I mean, they're so damn cheap, you want to buy one even if you don't need one. Because as U.S. Americans, that's what we do. I didn't need it, but at my house in Nashville,
I wanted a TV in every room.
Had 8 TVs.
Yeah, there you go.
8 TVs. And most of them were going all the time. And it was just moving wallpaper. It kept the voices in my head quiet. But that's a lot of money.
Yeah.
For television in 1984.
I remember in the year 99, I guess. Misty and I bought a projection TV that was a 55-inch projection TV. So in the console, you know what I'm saying? Big. It was like a rear projection. Yeah.
You had to sit it back in the corner and it took up a quarter of the living room.
It did, and you had to actually sit directly in front of it because if you sat off to the side, you couldn't really see the image that well.
Right. Yeah,
$5,500.
Oh.
Damn it. And we had that TV upstairs here for probably another 15 years. Finally got rid of it.
What year you buy it?
99.
Let's see. We moved into the new house in 01, and we bought at that time, and the Philips, remember the first Philips flat TV commercial?
I don't.
It was, ironically, it was a Philips flat TV
just one
spot.
L,
It
by the
was I'm sorry, what?
Just one L, by the way.
Oh, for Philips, yes.
Yeah.
You mean the company Philips? Yes. This was the first commercial that most of us ever saw for a flat panel TV that you hang on the wall. These guys go into this tiny little. They're like, what are we going to put on? How are we going to get a TV in this tiny room? And look at that. It was a fabulous hang-on-the-wall piece of art TV. Presenting flat TV from Philips. And when we bought the first flat panel TV that we had, it must have been 2001, 2. It was from Gateway, the computer company with the cow spot.
Yeah.
It was a 32-inch ED. It wasn't even high def. High def existed back then, but you had I think the only station that you could find
sell
it
an
on
arm or a leg, right?
Was Mark Cuban's HDNet. That was the only one that you could find, I think, that broadcast in true HD. But the Gateway 32-inch ED television flat panel was $4,500.
Wow.
And we bought one.
And dude, check it out. For $4,500, I was able to put a piece of computer hardware on my face and have as big a screen TV as I wanted with my Apple Vision Pro.
Right.
$4,500.
And you returned it.
I did. I took it back.
You big chicken.
If somebody wants to buy me an Apple Vision Pro now, I'll use it. I will use it. I'll bring it to the show.
You didn't
we'll talk
use
about it.
You didn't.
I'll figure
use
out
it
a
when
damn
you
way.
had it.
They're coming out with the Apple Vision Pro 2 now. They call it the Apple Vision Air. Have you seen it?
No. You wouldn't use that either because there's nothing to do with it.
I would use it.
You would not. You would use it for maybe a day, and then you'd set it on a shelf, and you wouldn't use it.
Look, I still have these, dude.
Right. How often do you use that?
I don't use it very often. But
Exactly. So you've already got one. You've already got one, son. Your mom and I are not buying you another toy. You don't use the toy you already have.
This is what was this? This was called the
MetaQuest.
MetaQuest Pro. Yeah.
Yeah.
The black.
And you don't use that. You thought it was the best thing since sliced bread when you got it.
I do use it. Once in a while, I play tennis on it.
How often?
About once every 3 months.
Okay. Your mother and I are going to, you know what? If we're going to buy you a puppy, you're going to have to, if that MetaQuest Pro was a puppy, it'd be dead by now because you wouldn't be playing with it.
Probably.
It'd be a dead puppy laying in the hall, which is just a shame. Just saying. I mean, you don't use yours either, do you? No. No. But I never had delusions of using one because, I mean, it's a neat novelty thing.
It is.
And especially when you're paying $4,500, a TV you use every day. A lot. Especially in this business because it's considered it's part of what we do. We're professional viewers of content. But it's amazing what you can get people to pay for amazing tech, but they're just not going to use because it's cool. Now, I don't know what's going to be different about the Apple Vision Pro 2.
Cooler.
If anything. Right. Exactly.
For a
while. But there is some cool tech out there that is really awesome. Cool tech. We actually gave you a tease of it with Marquez Brownlee on his YouTube channel, and I found somebody who's using it.
Oh, the bionic hand. Yeah.
Yep. And we'll see her next on the Daily Mojo.
Taste the honey sauce. Like I like it. Ooh yeah. This is the Daily Mojo Friday.
Freedom Friday in the United States. Oh, America. Original babe over in the Rumble chat room. Missy, it's Shine and Timu. Is it Shine or Shane?
I thought it was Shine. Yeah.
Looks like Shine. I sent it to my sister and told her to get rid of those clothes. And what? One Christmas, Missy 13, I'll never forget one Christmas, our parents bought us our own small black and white TVs for our rooms. For the longest time, when I lived with my mom and dad in an apartment in Lancaster, California, and I was like 5th grade, and our main television was a 12-inch black and white.
Wow.
And had the dial. And I was the remote control. And we liked it that way. Good thing there was other people living in that apartment complex who had drugs and alcohol, because that was far superior sitting home watching a 12-inch black and white.
I remember sitting in the floor
so screwed up
when I was young, and I don't know how old, but I want to say before 10, watching The Wizard of Oz thinking, oh my gosh, look at the color on this thing.
See?
Yeah.
They're doing a version of The Wizard of Oz for the Sphere in Vegas.
Oh, have you seen that video?
Expanded. Oh. They're going to have to show things in the frame that were never filmed in the first place.
Yeah. So they're using AI. That's a great video, by the way. If you haven't seen it, look it up on YouTube. Just do Wizard of Oz at the Sphere, and there's a making of, and they go through how they created, in just specifically one scene they talk about, which was the scene where Dorothy is in the living room talking to Elmira Gulch. She rides in on the bicycle, remember, to take Toto. Well, you know that Uncle Henry's standing there, but he's not on the screen all the time. But to get this inside the Sphere, they had to AI generate what he was doing off screen so they could expand the view to show him. And it's phenomenal how they're going to make this work, man. I want to go see it.
He's not wearing pants.
I want to go see it.
That's the amazing thing. He's not wearing pants.
That's something I would spend a good amount of money for at the Sphere to see.
To see him not wearing pants?
No, to see, well, yeah, that.
It's a little.
To see the Wizard of Oz expanded like that. That's cool.
I might, if I had it, I might spend $100 on a ticket for that, just to see how the tech worked.
Tickets aren't $100. Ask Toby.
How much are they?
About $250, just to go see what's there now.
Why weren't we born rich?
I don't know.
Because then we wouldn't appreciate anything.
Last time I was in Vegas, I saw the sphere from the outside, but I didn't pay to go in it. I should have, but I didn't.
No, it was some environmental program.
Yeah.
I was like, no, I'm not paying $100 to be lectured on how I'm destroying the planet.
Yeah.
Nope. This chick, this is pretty amazing. This girl had meningitis as a baby. Her name is Tilley Loki. She's 19 years old. And when she was a baby, her hands were amputated to save her life. And this is what tech did for her.
We're starting today by meeting a real-life superhero, aren't we?
After contracting meningitis when she was just 15 months old, Tilley Loki's hands were amputated to save her life. But through state-of-the-art bionic arms, she's been able to live a life to the fullest.
Tilley is now 19 years old and yesterday became the first person to get the most advanced wireless hands in the world, which are incredibly controlled by her mind.
Tilley joins us now alongside robotics engineer and all-round clever clogs who helped design her hands, Joel Gibbert. Welcome, both of you.
Yeah, welcome.
Tilley, I haven't seen you for ages. You came on the show a few years ago, didn't you?
2020, I think you were.
Yeah, a couple of times. My first time with you guys, though. So
nice
to
meet
be chilling with you.
It's nice to have you back, Tilley.
She's got a hell of a handshake.
For people who don't know the story, you were just 15 months when you contracted meningitis.
Yeah.
It came at a cost. You lost both of your hands at the time. And the thing is, with something like this, it's such a
Cute
big
as a
thing.
butt, dude.
Do you even remember, or do you even remember a point when
you can get by the
you
no
felt
hands
different
thing.
from anyone else?
Yeah, like it's completely life-altering, body-altering operation, obviously. And luckily, I was so young at the time, so I don't remember it. I've kind of like had no hands my entire life, you know? So it's just something that I've always known myself to be like. And growing up, there's definitely some challenges. Like you're adapting to a world that is designed for 4 limbs at the end of the day. And something that has been a journey has been prosthetics. And through my own experience, I've been able to see like that evolution firsthand, you know? So it's been really, really cool.
I think that's the most fascinating.
He sounds like he's 35.
Yeah.
She does not sound 19.
The thing is how many iterations this has had for you. So, I mean, when you started, what were your bionic arms like? What were you using?
Well, my first prosthetic I ever got, I was 2 years old, and I was like pretty much fresh out the bandages. And that wasn't technological at all. It was basically like a tube to put your arm in. There were like these 3 prongs tied together by elastic bands. And the way it operated
you can hear her
was with
hands
this hook
moving.
on the
That's
thumb,
crazy.
which would attach to a harness. And then the way I'd move like my upper body would pull on strings and make it move. But obviously, 2 years old, got barely any bodily coordination anyway.
You don't want to go to a movie with her because she picks up the popcorn and stuff.
It goes,
and that's what she... Right. It's like, shush. Would you shut up back there?
So it was a bit of a nightmare, and now you see them and they're like 3D printed, muscle operated, and it's been wild.
And when you're little, all of that, your gross motor skills, your fine motor skills have to be developed with that in mind as well, I think.
Yeah. And I think for me it was like more, I wasn't just adopting it as my hand. Like I just didn't really know what was even going on at that point. So it's been a journey.
Yeah. It's been a journey. Now, obviously, you're here to show off your new bionic arms.
Yes.
I've been watching you on Instagram, actually. It's so interesting.
That is crazy.
Tell me about these arms that you've got at the moment.
So these are the brand new Hero Pro. We had the Hero Arm, and this is Hero Arm next level upgrade. So they're pretty cool. They're still like 3D printed, muscle operated, but we've got all this.
Let me get that for you.
Extra capabilities now, which is really, really cool.
And Joel, you actually designed these.
Okay, so they work by her brain.
Yeah. I mean, she held her arms up and they opened, right? And she's closing them, and that's wild. I
mean, that's a pretty amazing.
I mean, it's got to be muscle twitches in her arm, right? Brain thinks open hand, and it goes chook. That's wild.
Well, not necessarily. The dude who has the
neural implant,
Tesla, the neural implant, he just thinks about moving his chest arms, his chest pieces.
What?
Not his chest arms.
Hell,
Although
Brad.
a couple of arms coming out of your chest,
that'd be cool.
That might be better than the arm coming out of your forehead. You got a couple of arms coming out of you could hold small packages. and have your other free to drive. You could be driving with your outer arms and holding a box with your inner arms. Let's see, the 100 people. How much did it cost her is what I'm trying to find. I thought it doesn't really. What is the cost? Well, at Open Bionics, their product range starts from $5,999. And
I'm going to make a very big assumption here, and that is that she didn't pay anything for these. And the reason I'm saying that is because she was the first, and they're using her to show them off.
Her mom works at Open Bionics.
There you go. Which is a cool place to work if you're a mom with a child with no hands, right?
Sure.
I mean,
you think she worked there? You think she decided to get a job at Open Bionics because she had
yes, I do.
Tilley? Or do you think she worked at
I'm
Open
pretty sure.
Bionics and okay. Insurance might help. 50% of the people with health insurance get the hero arm 100% funded. But this is in Australia.
Yeah.
Right? She's not Americano. Sarah fundraised for Tilley's hero arms, amazed by the transformative impact the devices had. Yeah, well, yeah. But like Tilley said, though, you're 2 years old when you lose your arms and you pretty much...
That's all you know. Up. That's correct. Yeah.
Right. Learning.
You haven't become self-aware at 2 years old, mostly.
She could use her feet. Remember the woman who doesn't have any arms and used her feet to brush her teeth? And
you into bionics?
Probably playing with Lego as a child. What got me really interested in technology.
See, kids, keep playing with your Legos. One day you could be selling $10 million arms.
That evolved into electronics and robotics. And then I wanted to do something that would have a positive social impact.
She scratched her face with her bionic arm. That's
so
funny.
Got really into bionic hands and prosthetics.
Can you imagine if the thing goes like banana ape shit and just starts doing...
It starts going, ah!
It starts freaking out. Because you know that's going to happen at some point.
Yeah. Presumably there's a lot of qualifications you need before you even start, but it must be so innovative and so exciting. And looking at Tilley's journey, has come on so much in the last, 10, 15 years?
Yeah, well, yes, it's come on enormously. One of the reasons that inspired me to get into it was because technology wasn't really moving forward from the sense of what people were actually getting for prosthetic limbs.
Right, because it wasn't bombs. If it had been a missile defense system or perhaps a new way to
money would have been
bust open a building,
yeah.
But money dropping all over you. But new arms? No, not so much. Boy, have I grown... Wow. Where'd that come from, Brad? Brad caught the old.
There's lots of research taking place, lots of really exciting things, but they weren't really making it to market.
Yeah.
And so that was one of the key things was like, could we take this really cool technology, but actually make it accessible to the NHS, make it so that everybody's actually getting it.
Brilliant. So when did you meet Tilley then? Tell us about that story of meeting Tilley.
It was probably like, you were about 9, 10 years old, I think, at that time. So we wanted to work with users of prosthetics very much from day one.
Yeah.
So we were putting out calls on social media to say, does anybody want to help us test the new designs, prototypes that we're making? And was it you or your mum got in touch with us? I think it was your mum got in touch with us initially. And we were like, yes, that would be great. We want you to help. And even from 9, 10 years old, Tilley was giving us fantastic ideas for how to design the arms.
All right, so it sounds to me like her mom, like you said, her mom was not working there until... she found, what's it called? Open Bionics.
Yeah. Does she demonstrate in this video how to pick stuff up and anything?
You just want to watch
I
her
do.
pick stuff
I
up.
actually do.
I was reading the Don Jones thing. Let's see if she is picking stuff up. I don't know. I mean, she's so far just. It's pretty amazing that she's just. I mean, she's not a monkey in a zoo.
She gestures. Okay, there's something. He's about to do something. Oh, that's.
It's a disembodied
You
hand.
can still operate it the same way as if it was attached. Make a move.
No!
Oh, snap!
That's unbelievable.
Oh, hell no.
That was cool. Dude, and she was opening and closing it rapidly, too.
I know what she was doing.
Oh, this is like an Addams Family remake right here, buddy.
No.
She's got a Halloween costume built right in.
She needs to go to parties where no one knows her.
Yep.
Boom.
Put it underneath the tablecloth and just make it start moving. People be like freaking out.
Where did my hand? Oh, there it is, crawling over there.
That's
what the
crazy.
Hell? Whoa, can you imagine you're at a party and you've maybe had a few adult things? And she starts, no.
Yeah. So I can do little tasks for me when I can't be bothered.
That answers your, does it have to do with muscle twitches? No.
No.
Holy shnikes.
It's Bluetooth, apparently. That's wild.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wonder if they could install a speaker into it so you just have speakers in your hands.
Oh, they could
double as like headphones.
Yeah. Or a phone. She just goes.
No, she does this. Hello.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah.
How you doing?
Yeah.
Yeah. No, we'll talk to you.
That's wild.
Do you know? This is going to sound weird, but you're going to have people wanting to have their arms replaced with bionic arms now. The perfectly good arms, they're going to want them replaced with bionic arms. I guarantee you that will happen.
Yeah.
Now, do you do that? As
it depends.
Bionics,
does it give her strength? Do you think? I mean, there's some amount of
you've got the weakest link going on, which is her arm. So you can only do things. You can't pick up a car because her body isn't physically.
But she could crush the shit out of something.
But if you took the arm off and set it on the ground, it could become a car jack. Boop.
Oh, I see.
I see a whole industry right here. And is that ethical if you are if you've got perfectly healthy limbs to want your arms cut off so you can have bionic arms? Is that ethical?
There will be somebody out there who does it, yeah. I mean, there are people who eat their own hair. Come on.
It's no less ethical than cutting your boobs off.
Okay.
It's no less ethical than slopping off your junk and having your outie to an innie. Is it?
No.
But watch the backlash. Speaking of backlash, actually, we weren't. But we will announce the winner of the silent auction for the Star Trek tricorder printed by the Michael V. Institute for Research. And, man, we should go into bionics.
Yes, we should.
Michael V. Center for Bionics. We'll do that next on the Daily Mojo.
Thank God it's Friday.
Hey, where are the white women at?
The Daily Mojo.
You know that thing was 3D printed, right? I can see the wheels turning now.
Oh, what was it?
Yes, that's what she said.
But it's metal.
No, well, I would think that the hand itself is metal. And maybe the bracket that it connects to, but that part on her arm, she said they still 3D print these. Yeah.
Huh. Well, there's little servo motors and stuff in there, so. Wow. That is
you got to send me that
wild
video, dude. Let's see. Meet the teen with the world's most advanced bionic hand.
Yeah, it's on YouTube.
Okay.
You can probably.
Yeah.
It's right there.
It's
right there, free for everybody. Huh. All right. So earlier, was that just this week? Earlier this week, we talked about the first off the assembly line at the Michael V. Institute for 3D printing and embellishment. I can't remember the name of his institute here at the motel for the Daily Mojo. But this is one of the first things we have printed. The original series Star Trek tricorder, and we did the silent auction, and we didn't really push it too much. We just it was out there. If you knew about it, you knew about it. If you didn't, there will be other opportunities. And the winning silent auction bid was I have it right here because we did this very scientifically, of course. Was $106.50. So
$106.50.
$106.50. That's a good deal. That's a good deal, and thank you to our pal Kevin K for making that bid on the tricorder. We're going to be doing some other things that aren't so niche. I'm building more tricorders, of course, because I'm a total goober for the Star Trek, but also things like lights, like, again, if you can see over my shoulder.
Oh, sorry.
You can
Let
see
me
it
do
better
this.
in the other shot.
There you go.
The moon back there, the moon over my hammy, hanging on the wall, which is, hold on a second, it has a remote control.
So it's got a multicolor LED in it, is what you're saying.
Yeah, it's got multicolor. It does magical things. Oh, it would if I found the remote.
It's okay, Brad. We're in the middle of a show.
It's a single light show back there. So it's as long as you like blue, you're gonna love. But we'll do things like that we'll have coming up again, thanks to the Michael V. Institute. That we are very pleased to be able to present you with other ways to support the program, not simply by being a member. Although if you do download the Daily Mojo app, that will help us tremendously. Enable notifications, and if you want to become an insider, there are all sorts of levels that you can support the program. We, of course, have our sponsor affiliates that we partner with, things like Sugar Creek Goods, which is allnaturalmojo.com, and we talked a little bit about Get Mojo CD. CBD.com.
Yeah.
CDs are so that old tech. That was like Get Mojo CDs. We don't even do those anymore. It's now Get Mojo MP3s. But we'll have other ways for you to support the program and get some cool stuff at the same time. This before we go, because it took me a while to figure out exactly what was happening. With, hang on, let me find the tweet here from the Salvadoran president.
I told you that was the biggest troll of all. I love that.
I was like, it took me a minute because I'm like, what am I looking at? And it was the Salvadoran president, Nayib Bukele. I think I'm pronouncing his name right. He tweeted.
Well, first of all, he allowed the meeting to take place.
Yes, he did.
As a demonstration.
Our Democrat senator from Maryland, Dinglenuts McFarland down there. What's his name? Who cares? Chris Van Hollen.
Chris Van Hollen, yeah.
Senator Van Hollen from Maryland, who had to go down there and see the Maryland father, who had been
MS-13 gang member. Yeah.
Right. Who was just whisked away. He's such a good guy. I mean, the evidence has been mounting for days now. The guy's not a good guy. He was a domestic abuser. I mean, and the left got a hold of him and tried to make him into a saint, and how horrible it was that he was wasting away down there.
Well, and then
prison.
And then the conspiracy theory that he wasn't even really alive anymore, that they had taken him down there and killed him. So Bukele goes, all right, let me show you how this works. So
at first they weren't going to let him
meet with him. That's correct.
I wonder who made the phone call from the Trump administration saying, hey, here's what you should do.
Here's what you need to do. Yep.
Have him meet. So there's the
proof of life. There's proof of life.
Proof of life. He looks pretty healthy to me.
People are saying that's an AI generated image because of the hands, but I don't think
maybe
so.
It is.
Yeah.
It might be.
It could be.
Absolutely might be. What the hell is going on with those hands?
Part of it is the hands of the guy behind him. You see what I'm saying?
That is a freaky cluster of fingers right there.
It is. But then they have images of them sitting at the table with their salt-rimmed margarita glasses. It's so funny.
Right.
They're like, this guy's really living it tough down there.
Yeah, he's got a tough time of it there. So he's alive, and the president of El Salvador tweeted, now that he's been confirmed healthy, he gets the honor of staying in El Salvador's custody.
So, no, we're not sending him home, idiots.
And, well, home is El Salvador.
Home is, we're not sending him back to the U.S. That's so funny.
Now, here's the twist. the United States is paying, is it $20 million a year to El Salvador to house criminals?
Yeah.
And according to what I've read so far, that's about half of what it would cost us as U.S. taxpayers to house the same criminals here in the United States, in the federal prison system. So, if it's true, we're saving money. We're taking care of the undesirable element of society and shipping them to El Salvador. This is just because what does Van Hollen say now? We're going to kidnap. I mean, what's the comeback from this?
Well, I mean, they're still going to try to get him to bring him back to the U.S. I mean, that's what they're all fighting for, is to bring him back home to his family. How about we send his family to visit him in El Salvador? They can just live right there outside the prison.
That is a great idea. Fabulous idea. And the White House then tweeted yesterday, where is the we are not the same. There it is right there. The White House tweeted and the El Salvadoran president reposted. They will forever be tweets. We are not the same.
Yep. That's Trump with Morin's mom.
With what's her first name? Lauren?
Rachel, I thought.
Rachel Morin. That's right. Rachel Morin's mom, who was killed by, you know the story. And then we've got the senator with the MS-13 gang member. They're on the right because,
let's not care about Americans at all since we're a U.S. senator, idiot. That just it blows my mind.
Is he that stupid? But I guess he is.
He's not the only one.
Absolutely,
he is not the only one.
No, I know. But how can you be that blind to the optics of this? But here's you know what it is. They've done studies. It doesn't matter how absolutely horrid you are, or how reprehensible your conduct is, as long as you say, "I hate Trump."
Yeah.
If you say, "Orange man bad, I hate Trump," you can be stomping puppies and crushing their heads.
It doesn't matter what you're doing as long as you're doing the opposite of Trump. Yes.
That's good. Look, he's controlling the puppy, because otherwise that puppy would have grown up to be in a horrible, horrible world. So look how he's taking care of that puppy, and he hates Trump. So we're good with it. Why do we have to go out on that? Why couldn't it be got? You know what? Thank you, Kevin K.
Thank you, Kevin K. Thank you, buddy.
And winner of the tricorder, the Star Trek tricorder. More stuff is coming on the Daily Mojo.
What do you mean it's let's go?
That was your fault.
Was
your fault, Ron.
No, it wasn't.
It was 2 hours of audio deliciousness there, known as the Daily Mojo, cram-packed full of stuff for Freedom Friday, April the 18th, the year of our Lord, 2025. And let's find out what anybody learned during the course of the program here today, starting over in the Rumble chat room. Bugs Mom, Brad, are you going to auction off the T-shirt you've been wearing? I'd love the I Can Fix Stupid shirt for my hubs. Hadn't thought about it, but you know what they say? Everything is for sale. We'll see about that. And thank you to whoever sent me this one. I don't know who sent it.
What is this one? What is this shirt? Oh, Rednecks. I see it. Oh.
I love it. And I made the comment
in
online
place of the
that
red
I love
skins.
the shirt, and someone sent me the shirt, and there was no note in it. So thank you to whomever it was that sent me the shirt. I do love it. Sir Rat Bastard, I'll wait for the bionic penis. Ron, you already have one of those. Tell us about it.
Well, I don't have to think very long before it takes care of its problem.
says, scratching your own back just made easier.
Look,
oh, yeah,
chunk.
she could just disassembles her arm and sets it on the bed and just goes, okay, there we go. Oh, that's fabulous. Unbelievable.
I can think of another couple of remote control things we could use it for.
Like what?
Just a bunch of different things.
Okay. Kathleen the Berg says, time to say goodbye until Monday. Have a good weekend. What's that supposed to mean? What are you trying to say there, Kathleen the Berg? Yeah. Huh? What sort of heinous things are you suggesting? Yeah. Lep says, have you always noticed that they have the MS-13 gang member dressed like a Kansas farmer?
Yeah. A Maryland father. actually.
He's just a Maryland father. And thank you to all you fabulous people over in the Daily Mojo chat room. Deb Treb, a fabulous meme. I'm back from El Salvador with the senator and all tatted up on his head. That's very, very nice. And yes, Deb says the left is mentally irrational. Boy, is that the truth. Ron, I'm not going to tie you to mentally irrational at all. However, I'm going to say that this afternoon on At the Mic, I will be there with our very own Keith Malinex. We'll have stuff to talk about and space. As for the rest of you, you know what to do. Go out there and good night, Doc Thompson.
Wherever you are, have a good weekend, everybody.
Watch
See you.
and listen at thedailymojo.com.